Another day, another ride. So we're almost ready to go again, but before we leave, it's time for the tradition. We have proven to be a few days in Croatia, so a new sticker can be added to Trixie, and because of the ride to here, it feels like a medal of honor for her. So, ready. Hello dear viewer. I had been assigned a nice spot in the shade for my tent. The campsite had simple but very well kept sanitary facilities. Almost the entire day someone walked around cleaning everything. The owner was very nice and spoke 3 words of Dutch, which is more than I speak Croatian. I ate in the accompanying restaurant for 3 days, where simple but, through the use of herbs and spices, extremely tasty meals were served. The grilled sea bream was really a top dish. The 3rd evening I didn't have to ask for a cup of coffee, with which I ended every meal. The waiter, a very nice man, just like the girl I had to pay with, brought it of his own accord, and just like the 2nd evening, the 2nd cup was on the house. We said goodbye to each other warmly. For today I have planned a route to a campsite on the coast. It's about a 145 kilometers ride to Krvavica. The first part of the route was not so special. It was a fairly wide road through a flat and dusty landscape. Fortunately, that changed quickly. In the area where I am now, you see a lot of these kind of stone walls in the landscape. I suspect that they are intended to border pieces of land. And then, because of the bright sun on your phone screen, you can't see whether you're on the right path, so you miss a turn and end up on a farmyard. After turning around, you follow the route again, but you quickly end up on a car track. You sigh deeply, speak encouragingly to Trixie, and carefully use the throttle. Because of the heat and the effort that such a road demands of you, after about 5 kilometers you are so wet with sweat that you can wring out your shirt. There were also stretches of road where the short, sharp bends followed each other so quickly that I felt dizzy, causing me to miss a hairpin bend and only just managed to brake in time on the wrong side of the road. Fortunately, there was no other traffic present. I seemed to be becoming more and more of a sentimental old man. Some views I found so beautiful that tears welled up in my eyes a few times, mainly out of gratitude that I can still make this journey.